everyone. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Always so happy to find you here. I do upload on Thursdays, and then there's a bonus upload moving forward for your view and my pleasure, of course. I'd like to have the topic today on who do you believe yourself to be, and how much of yourself, ourselves, are we able to use the power of our voices when needed? And I'm going to catapult this talk off of the Will Smith, Chris Rock slap and now apology. A reflective move on Will's part, but it couldn't be reflective without it first being within him, yes? I'd like to discuss and just bounce my talks examples off of those two men, not that it pertains to those two men, because again, I have to use people that are popular, are celebrity, are famous, are well-known enough for us to relate a story or a situation to connect our dots. Yes? Yes. So, as we know, the slap that went around the world, they say. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Academy Awards. February or March? And we're also talking about it. Regarding a comment that he made about Will's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, and her role in an upcoming film. But it was making fun of her hair, and she has a hair condition, alopecia, something like that, yes. And it just kind of struck Will, and he struck Chris. I'm not laughing at that. I'm just laughing at the way I kind of put those words together. But having said that, there's this misnomer about time in an apology, in that those receiving the apology and those given the apology, the time has to be almost perfectly aligned for the apology to land perfectly well. Yes? And if we wait too long, we lose this thing called time. Or we, how would you put it? Don't act soon enough. Then what's the purpose of the apology? And all these things that we, I would say, misnomerize, miscategorize, mistakenly think are okay for not giving a timely apology. So here's Will some months later having reflected on himself and what he did and his actions, now willing and wanting to give this probably scripted, well thought out, but scripted apology to Chris. But from the business perspective, business hasn't been greater for Chris Rock. Everyone wants, his concerts are sold out in ways that were never before or hadn't been in a long time. It really gave his career a boost, something he could joke, ha ha ha, for that many millions of dollars, slap me too, woo woo, kind of thing. And that's the thing, but he's making the butt of the joke Will Smith himself and not the slap. So all of these things that work together and not together, that doesn't bring the situation back to its center. Back to its center. When is an apology enough? When is an apology enough? We've gotten to the point to where there has to be so many qualifiers for an apology that many people go, I got to go through all that just to get the apology through, and they dismiss it altogether. So in other words, they just don't do it. And so now here's Will Smith offering this apology and Chris not giving him a conversation. That's a form of shunning. And shunning is always a kissing cousin of ghosting. I don't hear you. And ghosting is the worst thing, as we know, as we know, because it dismisses a person's personhood. Um, anyway, many times when something like this happens, I don't say karma, but karma. I don't say payback, but payback. I don't say you reap what you sow, but you get the point. Many years ago, on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will and a wonderful actress who was, I believe she was on Broadway, Janet Hubert, and she played Aunt Viv, did not have a good relationship on the show. And it was said, and then she actually went on her own, um, I guess, live recording or YouTube or something, social media, and put it out there how Will blockaded her career and how she was not hireable anymore because he was a hot thing at the time. And he would make phone calls that if she was hired, he wouldn't star in other movies. And he actually ended her career. And then there was a red table talk all these many years later where the two of them sat down and he was tearful for what he did. Now, he's a great actor, but maybe he was authentic at that time. I'm not suggesting that he wasn't authentic, but you ruined her career. The ego within ruined her career. We don't know what she would have starred in. We don't know what Broadway would have offered her. We don't know what her career would have ever had. But calls were made, and he acknowledges some of it. And that's another part. We can't ever really give our full truth, but I digress. He acknowledges some of it, having a hand in some of the loss she experienced. The bottom line is she lost her career. Well, fast forward now, he lost his. I'm sure he's still hireable, but he's viewed differently. He was spotless before, he's not now. All of that. I look at Harvey Weinstein, I use him as the example of what don't ever do. Don't ever do that. Um, how many careers he ruined because an actress wouldn't sleep with him? How many complaints were made that went unheard because he blockaded it? He stopped it. How many heads of human resources was replaced over and over again to protect him? All these years down the road, look at him now. His career was lost, just like he lost theirs. When I'm using these references of things not to do, even in the quiet of our low down things that we might do to somewhere along the line, it shall come back to you, to us. You ghost somebody, you'll be alone yourself one day. You ghost the wrong somebody, they'll end up haunting you in return. Can't get them out of your mind because you shouldn't have never have done that to that person. You stole money from somebody, you'll be broke yourself one day, or somebody will steal it. It's just how the universe works. It may not be today or tomorrow or next month or next year, but in a lifetime in such a way that if your deeds hit, you will reap that. I'm not trying to be negative. Mm-mm. After all this time is the worst phrase that I have heard, and I don't like it because time has nothing to do with it. It's the seasons of souls. Time was created to keep us on track, to let me know when to meet you. Without time, we would know what day it is, what month it is, what season it is. So it's to keep us on track. But time is irrelevant when it comes to relationships and soul syncing and coming together in harmony in the universe, answering prayers to bring two people or two entities together to build a better something. Yes, time has nothing to do with it. You may have wanted it yesterday, last season, 10 years ago. The universe is conspiring to bring those things together and lock it in, unbreakable. And you shake it up and break it? Nah, mm-mm, mm-mm. Things don't work like that. And that's how you destroy things, and that's how we lose. So here's Chris deciding whether he'll take the apology or not. I ask myself, is he milking the system? Because the longer he doesn't sit down with Will, the more is he strategizing. The longer he doesn't sit down, the more he can gain from it. Everyone wants to hear from all of that. We don't play with each other. We don't play with people's soul. When you owe an apology, the time is always now to do it. What are you waiting for? Give it. Even if the person does you like Chris is doing Will, give it. It's off of you. Yes, yes, it frees you. If you owe the apology, it frees you. Now it's all on you. But give it. Don't text. Text is childish. Don't leave a voice. Well, if you get the voicemail, because they probably don't even know your number now or whatever. If you get the voicemail, leave a message and say, when should I call you back? I'd like to talk to you. Give the apology to the person, not third hand through a text, third hand through an email, third hand through a friend, third hand through a, oh, no, that's childish. When you do those things, you haven't been elevated. Just the act of those things means you're still immature. Respectfully. Mm-hmm. You're still immature. Grow up, king. Grow up, king. Grow up, queen. Grow up, royalty. Act your positional authority. And don't hold anyone hostage. Like in this case, in my view, Chris is doing. You heard him reach out to you. This is childish. But again, it could be strategy because there's money on the line, there's careers on the line. I'm holding all of that. This is childish, but it's childish because when you're elevated, the first thing you do is coincide, collaborate, communicate, connect. There's a when you're elevated, that is your natural goal. It is your natural inhabited way to be in synchronization. Oh, go see my video on soul synchronization. Go watch that. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, if you want an apology, give it. If someone's apologizing to you, accept it. Set the person free, or whatever you're gonna do. Move ahead in compliance with that person. And I love you. Bye.